It was a seismic shift in the world of business. On June 30th, 2025, Amazon stunned the nation by announcing it would relocate its global headquarters outside the United States. The news landed with a heavy blow, raising urgent questions about the direction of American commerce. For decades, Amazon has been more than a company. It's been a pillar of the American economy, revolutionizing retail, logistics, and technology. The White House wasted no time in issuing a fierce response. Former President Donald J. Trump, who's never been shy about his criticism of Amazon, blasted the move as a disgraceful abandonment of the American people. Trump accused Amazon of betraying the very nation that propelled it to global dominance. For Trump, this was more than a business decision. It was a personal affront and a political flashpoint, calling Amazon's exit an act of corporate disloyalty. For countless Americans, the announcement was a tough pill to swallow. Amazon is woven into the fabric of daily life, a digital marketplace, a major employer, and a household name. The idea of Amazon's headquarters being somewhere else felt almost unimaginable. The story dominated headlines, instantly becoming the nation's top talking point. In its official release, Amazon cited the need for a more reliable and predictable international business environment. But reading between the lines, this was the culmination of years of growing strain. This wasn't a spur-of-the-moment call. It followed mounting economic challenges and political clashes. Amazon's leadership finally decided they could no longer rely on consistent growth and security in the U.S. The unimaginable had come to pass, leaving the country to grapple with the vast and uncertain consequences. What pushed Amazon to make such a drastic move? The main catalyst: the relentless tariff war. For years, tariffs were used to protect American industries. But for Amazon, whose business relies on a seamless global supply chain, these tariffs became a slow-acting poison. Every imported product and component became more expensive, squeezing Amazon's margins or forcing higher prices on consumers. The tariffs especially hit Amazon Web Services, which depends on specialized hardware from Asia. Building and upgrading U.S. data centers became far more costly, threatening Amazon's most profitable division. In a leaked memo, Amazon's CEO said, "We cannot operate a 21st-century global business under a 20th-century protectionist framework." The company felt penalized for its global integration. Ongoing economic uncertainty and hostile rhetoric created an environment Amazon's leadership deemed too risky. The decision to move wasn't just about current tariffs. It was about escaping unpredictable, adversarial economic policy. Amazon saw no future for its business model under these conditions. To understand Amazon's decision, you need to understand tariffs. A tax on imported goods meant to make foreign products more expensive and encourage domestic buying. The Trump administration's goal was to protect American jobs and industries by making imports pricier. But for Amazon, which imports billions in goods, tariffs were a direct hit to the bottom line. Higher import costs meant higher prices for consumers, classic inflation. American businesses relying on imported parts also suffered, facing rising costs and tougher competition. While some jobs in protected industries might be saved, many more can be lost elsewhere: ports, shipping, retail. The very workers' tariffs aimed to help could end up harmed by the broader fallout. For Amazon, these complex, painful realities made the U.S. an unpredictable place to do business. The costs had to go somewhere, and the ripple effects were felt throughout the economy. Tariffs didn't just hurt Amazon, they threatened the entire ecosystem of American business. The company's move was a direct response to this economic climate. In the end, tariffs became the tipping point. Amazon sought a more predictable environment for its future. Former President Trump's reaction was immediate and explosive. He took to Truth Social, calling Amazon's move a disgrace and accusing the company of turning its back on America. Trump's rhetoric painted Amazon as greedy and unpatriotic, putting profits ahead of country. This is what happens when globalist CEOs who don't love our country are in charge, he declared. He threatened new regulations and investigations, vowing consequences for Amazon's decision. Trump's narrative was clear. Amazon was the villain, and he was the defender of American workers. He used the event to reinforce his America First agenda, warning that corporations were shipping jobs and now headquarters overseas. This message resonated with his base, confirming suspicions about multinational corporations' loyalties. The public fury was strategic, rallying supporters and shifting blame for the economic fallout. By personalizing the conflict, Trump turned a complex issue into a story of patriotism versus betrayal. His words shaped the narrative, making Amazon's move a symbol of a larger struggle. The war of words was as intense as the tariff war itself. Trump's response set the tone for the national debate. The conflict became about more than business. It was about the soul of the nation. The stage was set for a showdown between government and global business. The real impact of Amazon's departure will be felt by ordinary people. Tens of thousands of employees in Seattle and Arlington now face uncertainty. Many can't simply uproot their lives. Local businesses that thrived on Amazon's presence, coffee shops, restaurants, dry cleaners, face a looming economic void. Real estate markets could plummet, leaving homeowners underwater. The loss of a corporate anchor can devastate a local economy for years. Investors saw Amazon stock tumble, billions wiped out in hours. The move brings new risks, logistical nightmares, political retaliation, and long-term uncertainty. Some analysts argue that escaping the tariff war could make Amazon stronger in the long run, but the short-term chaos is undeniable. Other U.S. businesses are now watching nervously, wondering if they could be next. The precedent is set. A major company chose to leave rather than operate under current policies. The human cost is measured in lost jobs, falling confidence, and a chilling effect on future investment. To understand the conflict, look at both sides' motivations. For Trump and his supporters, tariffs are a patriotic act, a way to reclaim American jobs and manufacturing lost to globalization. The America First policy aims to make it more attractive for companies to produce goods in the U.S., even if it means short-term pain for long-term gain. Trump frames Amazon's exit as betrayal, speaking to those left behind by global trade. Amazon, on the other hand, is fundamentally global. Its business model depends on efficient, borderless supply chains. The company argues it can't simply shift its vast operations to the U.S. The infrastructure and suppliers just aren't there. Amazon sees protectionism as isolating, not protecting America, raising prices, reducing choice, and stifling innovation. The company's move is a defensive measure to protect its future in a hostile environment. Amazon's exit is a stone thrown into the economic pond. Its ripples will reach every American. The most direct impact, your wallet. Amazon's low prices have kept inflation in check. But now, costs and shipping times could rise. Small businesses that rely on Amazon's platform face higher fees, more complex logistics, and uncertainty. The dream of building a business on Amazon just got harder. Amazon's fulfillment centers have provided hundreds of thousands of jobs. Now, their future is uncertain. Will Amazon slow expansion or invest less in U.S. facilities? The move forces a national conversation. Do we want a protected, insulated economy with higher prices, or a globalized one with more choices but less control? Amazon's departure makes this question urgent and real. The answer will shape the future of American business and local communities. The economic reality for millions is now in flux. As the dust settles, America faces a deeply uncertain horizon. Amazon's departure is more than the loss of one company. It's a turning point in the U.S. relationship with global business. If Amazon can leave, who's next? The risk of a corporate exodus or slowdown in investment is real. America's reputation as the premier business destination is now in question. For shoppers and workers, the future is cloudy: higher prices, longer waits, and jobs vulnerable to political disputes. The story of Amazon's exit is a cautionary tale about the balance between national politics and global economics. The policies made in Washington have real-world consequences that can reshape the economic landscape. The path forward is unclear, and the decisions made now will determine the future of American business in a world that suddenly feels much more uncertain.